dusty, quiet streets of Plainfield, Wisconsin. During the 1950s, a darkness lurked that no one could have imagined. Edward Theodore Gein, known as Ed Gein, was at the center of a chilling horror story that pushed the boundaries of the human mind in this small, sleepy town. Born on August 27, 1906, in La Crosse County to a devout, authoritarian mother, Augusta Gein, and an alcoholic, weak-willed father, George Gein, Ed's childhood was shaped under the oppressive shadow of his mother's strict moral code and religious fanaticism. Augusta isolated her sons, Ed and his older brother Henry, from the sins of the outside world. Women, alcohol, modern life, all were demonic in her eyes, and she instilled these beliefs into Ed's mind like an intricate embroidery. At home, Bible passages were read aloud, and sermons were preached about the curses of a sinful world. Ed submitted to his mother's rigid rules without question, for in his eyes, Augusta was a saint, a goddess, an untouchable figure. His father's death in 1940 from alcoholism barely altered Ed's life, as George was already a faint shadow in the family. But in 1945, when Augusta suffered a stroke and passed away, Ed's world crumbled like an earthquake. His mother was his guide, his prison, and his shrine. Left without her, Ed sank into the dark waters of loneliness and obsession. In the quiet, ordinary streets of Plainfield, this shy, odd, but seemingly harmless man began sneaking into cemeteries at night, meticulously digging up freshly buried corpses, particularly those of middle-aged women. He brought these bodies to his farmhouse, where he dismembered them, turning bones into decorative objects, skin into masks, and even clothing. His home became a veritable temple of horror, filled with human skin lampshades, skulls carved into bowls, bone-crafted ornaments, and even a box containing noses and lips. Yet no one in town suspected what was happening behind the walls of this reclusive man's home. To the townsfolk, Ed was just peculiar. He smiled at the grocery store, greeted neighbors politely, and even joked with children at times. That is, until November 16, 1957, when local hardware store owner Bernice Worden vanished mysteriously. Bernice's son, Frank, found a clue in her shop, pointing to Ed Gein as the last person seen there. When police raided Gein's farmhouse, they encountered one of the most horrific scenes in human history. Bernice's headless body was found hanging from the ceiling like a hunted animal, gutted and stripped of flesh. Every corner of the house was filled with human remains. Police reports documented 9 human skin masks, a box full of human bones, leather-covered chair cushions, a belt made from human lips, and, most disturbingly, a woman's suit. Gein confessed to wearing this suit to embody his mother's form. During interrogations, he was charged with only 2 murders, those of Bernice Worden and Mary Hogan, a barmaid who disappeared in 1954, but the dozens of body parts found in his home remained a mystery. Gein explained his grave robbing and macabre rituals as a result of his obsession with his mother, wanting to keep her spirit alive by becoming her. Psychologists diagnosed him with schizophrenia, necrophilia, and an extreme dependence on his mother. In his 1958 trial, he was deemed mentally unfit and sent to Mendota Mental Health Institute instead of prison. There, he lived quietly as a model patient until his death from lung cancer on July 26, 1984, at age 77. But Gein's story didn't end with his death. His grotesque world left a profound mark on popular culture. Alfred Hitchcock's 1960 film, Psycho, drew inspiration for Norman Bates's mother obsession from Gein. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre's Leatherface, with his human skin masks, was a reflection of Gein. The Silence of the Lambs. Buffalo Bill was inspired by Gein's skin suits. Plainfield tried to escape this horrific legacy, and Gein's house was destroyed in a 1958 fire, rumored to be an attempt by townsfolk to erase the shame and fear. Yet Gein's shadow still loomed over the town. Elderly residents still lower their voices when speaking of that house, and children hurry past the cemetery at night. Gein's story is not just the portrait of a serial killer, but a journey into the darkest, most disturbing corners of human nature. Was he a monster or a sick mind? Perhaps both. One thing is certain: Ed Gein's name will live on as a symbol of fear, obsession, and the unresolved mysteries of the human psyche. Plainfield may seem to have returned to its quiet days, but in the whistle of the wind, in the shadows of gravestones, Gein's ghost still seems to linger. Though his house's ruins are physically gone, they remain a monument of horror in the mind. This story is not just about one man, but about a community, an era, and the limits of human psychology. Ed Gein may have been a mirror reflecting the darkness within us all, and looking into that mirror, as unsettling as it is, forces us to confront ourselves.